Guys, the Timberwolves play basketball again tomorrow. Yeah, I'm excited. Preseason, it's whatever. NBA, we're going to see a couple guys play maybe 12 minutes total in what is like a 60-minute game. I don't care. I'm excited either way. I'm pumped to see these guys get back out there. The first preseason game, I was actually pretty proud of it. We broke it down in the last episode, so if you haven't watched that, go back and check it out. Um, Not a whole lot of bad things to say. We looked really good against the Denver Nuggets, who have kind of rebuilt and they're, I don't know, retooling almost. Uh, and they played everyone a lot more than we played everyone, and our bench whooped their ass. So I'm pumped, and the Pacers are without a ton of players. Uh, so I'm really thinking that tomorrow should be another preseason win. It absolutely should be. Now that I say it, there's no reason for it not to be. They're without Cam Jones, Ben Shepherd, James Wiseman, Isaiah Jackson, and Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese, we know wasn't going to be there, but those other guys are impactful. Ben Shepherd not being in, that's their second option at this point, maybe even the first. Not who you want being out for any game, even if it's preseason or not. This is their first game, but it is a Timberwolves' first home game. So do what you will with that. We'll get into it here in a second, but the Timberwolves are without Anthony Edwards, Mike Conley, Julius Randle, and Leonard Miller. The Leonard Miller situation seems like this guy is never going to play a minute this year, and he's either going to get cut by the end of the preseason, or he's going to go down to the G League, or he's getting traded. Seems like the only three options, or four options, I guess. Yeah, I don't see him playing much or being on the team. It just isn't going to work. There's no place for him in the roster. There's guys who are better than him that have been there in a shorter time. He just hasn't developed. He hasn't developed at all. So I do wish him the best. Never want to see a guy not develop into the player he could be, but that player he could be is not going to be on the Timberwolves, unfortunately. So is what it is. The Randall thing, I would like to see Randall come in and play. Same as Conley, just come in for like 5 minutes even, put some shots up, get back on the bench. That would be fine with me. Maybe they'll play in the last preseason game, but the second one, I guess you're fine. Sit out of it. I don't really care. Um, that being said, we got to talk about Ant. Should Ant be playing in the preseason? The short answer, no. No, he doesn't need to. He's, top six player according to ESPN. He's not top five. Um, why would he be playing in the preseason? I'll give you my reasoning. He struggled last year to find the consistency in his shot and playmaking, especially around the rim. Like a lot of floaters and layup baskets just weren't there for him. I think that is a huge problem. And, these games that don't matter are a great opportunity to put up some shots and get natural in an actual game setting instead of practice or scrimmage or whatever the hell they're doing there. Because clearly it's just not working. Like I don't want him coming into the first game of the year, which is against Portland. I can't even think who is the first game against now. I'm forgetting. Um, Not preseason. I don't want preseason. Thanks, ESPN. Yeah, Portland. I was right. Um, I don't want him coming into that game and laying an egg. Now, that being said, we still do have four more preseason games. We're gonna play the New York Knicks, and then we're gonna play the Guangdong Tiger. Oh no, the Lions. Yeah, we're playing the Lions in the CBL league. So we're playing a Chinese team. That's pretty cool. I think actually, if I'm correct, this team has Frank Kaminsky and Tim Fraser. Huh. Yeah, this team has some weird players, and they have Victor Oladipo. So that actually could be a fun one. I might have to be boots on the ground for that game and go to that one myself. But I mean, so we have New York Knicks after Pacers, then the Lions, and then we have Chicago, and we end the season with Philadelphia. So I'm expecting that Ant should be playing in at least the last two, just because the Lions game feels like we're going to play a ton of bench guys and just let them get some reps in that one. October 3rd. I could go to that. I think I'm free. I might be going to that. Um, that's kind of my thought. I mean, there's no reason that Ant shouldn't be playing it to at least get his reps in before the season so that when he comes in to play the Trailblazers, which they're probably not going to be a good team this year, but you don't overlook anyone, and you certainly don't overlook anyone at the beginning of the season. And so Anthony Edwards sitting out tells me that, you know, Clearly, they're fine with it. They're fine with him coming in and getting his groove during the season, which is so wrong. It doesn't work in any league. It doesn't work in the NFL. You see all these offenses come out slow after they don't play in preseason anymore because they don't want to get hurt. And I understand injury is the number one concern. Like, we don't need Ant getting hurt in a meaningless preseason game. But we also don't need him not being the player we know he can be because he didn't play in a preseason game. Yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I just don't agree with this whole, oh, he doesn't have to play. It's fine. Get out there for at least a game. I'll change my attitude if he is going to be out for, or if he's not going to be out for more than just tomorrow's game. But according to ESPN here and their little, who's in, who's out, it's saying October 7th, which puts him tomorrow's game. So he could be back. He might be playing for the next game, but it's probably unlikely. Leonard Miller isn't returning until the 22nd, which is just past preseason. Yeah, he's probably not coming back, like I was saying. But yeah, I don't think Ant should be sitting more than one or two more of these games at least. But two games. If he gives me 2 games of 20 minutes, I'll be content. 40 minutes preseason basketball. I don't care where he gets it. If it's blowout time, like, don't matter. Just go out there and put up at least like 40 minutes of preseason. Get some actual game reps in, please. Like, that's bare minimum for me. Now, it's our first home season game. Yeah, we're actually going on a little bit of a home season or a home game stand here. Um, well, no, I lied. Um, we're going. We only got 3 preseason games technically. The Nuggets was an off-site neutral location in San Diego, so we lost a home game there. The Pacers are at home. The Knicks are on the road. Chicago, Philadelphia on the road. So the Pacers are the only true home game we're going to have because the other one is against the Lions, the CBL team. So we're not even playing another NBA team at home. We're only playing the Pacers at home. I don't love that, but I want everyone who's going to be in the stadium tomorrow to put on a show. I want you to show out, cheer loud. It's the first time we've been able to cheer there since we lost the Western Conference Finals for the second year in a row. Let's get out there. Let's prove why we're the top fans, why everyone doesn't want to come to the Target Center to play. That's what I want to see. I don't care there's preseason. I don't. Everyone's like, oh, it's just preseason. Like, why are you checking in on preseason? I'm checking in on preseason because Rob, I'm getting confused because of what I'm about to say. Bones Highland and Rob are competing to be the backup point guard at this point. Bones Highland put up 18 points. Rob put up a ton of assists. Do you play the guy that can score or do you play the guy that can dish the ball? That's going to be the question. There's a lot of good narratives that are going to come out of them. And so we kind of need to see a couple more of these games to know exactly who's going to be in the or who's going to be where in the lineup, It's really exciting stuff, and it's what we're hoping for at this point. Also, Zakarski putting up 8 rebounds in that game. The guy can grab a board. I know he played a lot of garbage minutes, but that's tough to argue with. So that's what I'm expecting. First home game, we've got a ton of narratives to figure out. It's our only true home game versus an NBA team against the Pacers too. I always want to beat the Pacers. Not a big Pacers guy. I was for the finals last year, but I didn't want OKC to win one. That's what do you want me to say there? I don't want OKC to win a championship before us. Whatever. That's what I'm expecting for the home game. We need a good home game. So, don't know how many more times I can say home game, but what are my expectations for the home game? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm just going to break down a couple ones. The Bones Highland and Rob Dillingham. We're going to start to see a little bit more clarity, I think, in that, especially at home. It does depend on how much Finch decides to play each of them. I think that they each got pretty fair time, but they obviously Highland came off the bench and Rob started. So that says enough. I think this time Highland is going to start and Rob will come off the bench. I could be absolutely dumb for that. And then, Dante at the 2, because I don't think Ant's going to play. Jaden at the 3. The 4 will play Nas, and then probably start Rudy or Baron J. Just kind of depends on how they want to go about it. But I would expect it to be Rob, Dante, Jaden, Nas, Rudy. That is a starting 5 that I'm expecting. Otherwise, it's Highland instead of Rob. I think it just depends on what Finch wants from the game. That makes the most sense to me. I think you do start Highland though. Just give him a starting opportunity to see what he would look like meshed with the starters and not like the third stringers, if that makes sense. I think we're going to see more minutes for Zakarski. It makes a lot of sense to get him as many as we can before we send him down to the G League all year. Let's see what we've got in the guy. I think we're going to see less from Ingles. He played 16 minutes. That was kind of a lot for him. Jalen Clark, Johnny Juzang, Terrence Shannon Jr. Expecting a ton of minutes from them. Jalen Clark, sorry, is he's playing for his life right now. He went 1 for 4, 2 points, 2 rebounds. Really didn't do a whole lot last game. We're gonna need more than that if he's going to crack the lineup the way we think he is. Otherwise, one of these other guys in Highland, Juzang, someone else in here is going to take his minutes, and he's not going to be taking that step that we all hope he is. Kind of getting near, like, if he takes a step that I think is possible, it puts him pretty close to like Jared Vanderbilt levels. I think that is reasonable enough, but we got to see that another step. Otherwise, I'm pretty concerned about his playing time. Outside of that, not a ton. I'm looking forward to being able to watch a game on FanDuel for once instead of whatever random streaming we have to find these on. Yeah, that's all I've got for you guys today. Excited about the game tomorrow, and I will be back tomorrow to break down the game afterwards. Take care, guys. See you then.